Good evening, everybody. My name is So. I'm one of the escorts which will be joining you from the Big Journey Company on the Chase the Lights tour in November 2016. I've been out this weekend and I came back and I had an email from a chap called Roger, who I've taken away a number of times. And Roger said, "So, I'm from Arizona, help me out here. What gear do I need to go on this trip?" So Roger, I'm dedicating this to you and I hope it's very useful to everybody else as well. I'm going to go through what will be in my bag. I go out in the hills and mountains quite a lot, so I have got a lot of gear. You may well not have that gear, so I will point out the useful things that you need, some things that you can get, because obviously you don't want to go out and spend lots and lots of money on gear you're never going to use again. So I'll try and make that a little bit more precise as we go along. So if we start with the underneath, a base layer, thermal underwear, long johns you may call it. There are top and bottoms I would recommend, ideally long sleeved if you can. Now you have varying degrees in price in terms of long johns. The more expensive ones in things like merino wool will what they call wick, and what that means is it will push the moisture away from your body out so you don't sort of sweat and that sweat doesn't stay on your clothing. Generally the more expensive ones are useful when you are doing a lot of physical activity. This trip you might not do as much physical activity, in fact you probably won't. So normal thermal underwear will be fine. You don't really need the expensive stuff. But as I say, long sleeves, some trousers. I definitely recommend you have some of those with you. Socks, obviously. Now you may well ski, and you will hear me say a few times, if you ski, your ski gear will be fine. But it's a little bit heavier. So it's kind of on and you're hot or off. It doesn't give you the ability to layer up, which is preferable if possible. So your ski socks, a good pair of winter walking socks will be absolutely fine. Go to any sort of outfitters or outdoor walking shop, hiking shop, and they will be able to get you some nice socks to keep your feet warm. A lot of the time, this time of year, we will be walking on cold ground and ice, so it is important that we keep our feet warm. Then we need a mid layer. So again, I normally have a fairly small, thin mid-layer sweater. Again, long sleeve, so I'm layering up my arms as well, not just the t-shirts. And then if you want, on top of that, something like a fleece or a sweater, again, to keep you nice and warm. Now on the bottom, personally, I will be bringing some of my walking trousers, probably my winter weight, so they're a little bit heavier. Now if you don't walk and you haven't got walking trousers, that's fine. Most trousers will do. I tend to stay away from jeans because jeans do hold the cold and put it next to your skin. So anything else, and then of course with the top layer we're going to protect again. So if you want to bring jeans you can do. I tend to steer away from them if I can. So on our top layer, I'll just put these down here. The things to remember for your top layers, ideally you want something that is waterproof, windproof and breathable. Now if you get those three things in your top jacket, like this one, I'll put it on, this is my top jacket. You can see holes under the arms, they're actually for ventilation, I'll just see. So this is going to go over the top, it's going to stop the wind getting in, which will keep me so much warmer. And it's nice and breathable, so I'm not going to sweat. And if it does rain, we're not actually expecting rain at this time of year because the temperature is so low. If it does, we're still okay. And I'm going to put a similar thing on the bottom. These are waterproof trousers, they're windproof trousers, and they are breathable. And again, over whatever trousers I've got underneath, they're going to keep that wind out and it's going to keep me really, really warm on top. If you are a skier, let me just put those down to one side, then you're going to have skiing equipment, and skiing equipment is going to be fine. So if you've got your salopettes, then they're obviously going to be thicker, but they're going to be windproof, they're going to be a reasonable amount of waterproofing in them, so they again are going to be absolutely fine for this trip. So if you're a skier, your skiing gear is going to be fine. As we go sort of up to our extremities now, thinking of our hands and our head, It is important to keep warm, and it's important to buy reasonable quality gloves, because if you get the wind and you've bought cheap gloves, inexpensive gloves, it is going to go through and it is going to get your hands cold. Okay, so I will have with me, of course I will have with me, my Big Journey Company hat. So nice, again, covers my ears, spare hat. I quite like, this is a buff, it's a little bit of material. You'll see them if you ride motorbikes, just down into your neck. So if you've got a little bit of gap between your jacket or anything else, it just plugs that gap and it keeps you really, really nice and warm. So either of those, I'll carry a spare. This is called an item called a buff. You've probably seen these, length of material, which again you can use as a scarf. You can actually fold it up into a hat, but good quality hat, spare gloves, something around your neck is really, really nice, will warm you up. If you're not that, we will obviously carry spares, so nice pair of gloves there. If you are from a hot climate and your fingers may get cold, consider mittens. I'm going to throw that down to the side, rather than gloves, because actually when you keep your fingers together in one pocket, then they are kept warmer. So mittens are warmer than gloves. Obviously they're not quite as manoeuvrable, but we don't need to do so much. And then obviously gloves as well. Dave, who was planning to come on the trip with me, and I will carry spares. So if you get in trouble, do ask us and we will help you out. Obviously, if everybody asks us, we won't have enough, but we will try for you. Another thing I'll carry, a lot of you, rather than that kind of thing, may have skiing jacket or a down jacket. I have what's called a Primaloft, which is a similar thing. Again, more padded, keeps the cold away a little bit more. This will be very, very hot. It's actually too hot to wear in most climates, but same kind of thing. Padded jacket. So if you've got Primaloft or you've got down or you've got a skiing jacket, that will be absolutely fine, no problem at all. I'm going to take this off because I'm already getting hot. Another useful piece of kit that you'll generally find us with is a gilet. Body warmer, if you like. Really, really light, very easy to carry around, and just helps keep your core a little bit warmer if you're a little bit cool. So having one of these around is quite useful as well. Feet, again, skiers, no doubt you will have moon boots or you will have something equivalent that you can wear. That's absolutely fine. If you're walkers and you've got walking boots, your winter mountain boots, something like that will be fine. You'll survive in your trainers, but I really wouldn't. It's going to be too cold. A reasonable pair of winter hiking shoes really is worth the investment, and something that you'll probably use again, even if it's just walking the dog for the next however many years. In the emails that we send out, we do talk about cleats or spikes for your feet. There are a number of them around, so I'm just going to go through a couple of them. I'm going to go through what I recommend first. If you look at these I've put them on my winter boots. Now you can probably see these have got studs on them, and these studs bite into the ice. Now I prefer these, and the reason is because of the time of year we go. Before we've arrived, you've had rainfall that's frozen, and then been rained on top of and frozen again, and rained on top of and frozen again. And some places we go, and sometimes on the roads, even in the towns, it's almost like you're walking on sheet ice, and these make a huge, huge difference. And I like the little studs because they bite into the ice. Now there are other ones on the market. You may well have seen these or may get offered these. You can see you've got a wire spiraled around here. Now for me, these don't quite bite into the ice enough. So you know, they're better than nothing for sure, but I would, again, hit the studs if you like. Some people have turned up before with trail crampons. This is what you call a trail crampon, and if you can just see that, I'm just going to move away so you can see it. You see how it's got the spikes here and here, so it's like a full-on crampon. fine when you're off-road, but when you're on pavements and things like that, it's a little bit much. What you're doing is you're actually standing on the spike all the time because you're on the ice. So yes, if you've got them, it would be okay. But if you get a choice, I would steer away from them. And just to be thorough, don't just use the word crampon. That is a crampon, and clearly you don't want to go that far. Okay, so I hope that helps you. I'm just going to show you one more time these, because these for me are the single most important piece of kit you're going to bring. I hope I'm going to put it in the light so you can just see the studs there on them. There are varying qualities. You should be paying anywhere between $15, $25, maybe £15, £20, something like that. If you get the really cheap ones, the plastic sometimes does get too cold, the rubber, and cracks, and they can break. Again, we will carry spares just in case. Do come and see us, but obviously please do get yourself a pair of these, and I would say wear them everywhere, because it's the nature of where we are. We are in the Arctic Circle. There is ice on the ground everywhere. Just put them on and wear them as soon as you get off the ship. So I hope that helps you. You can email the office if you have any specific questions. Myself or Dave can answer the questions. The guys in the office, a lot of them have done this trip, so they'll know. That's hopefully will just give you a little bit of heads up on the kit. Layer up, spikes, remember, windproof, waterproof, breathable. If you do nothing but get a bottom and a top layer that does that, and a nice pair of cleats and a reasonable warm pair of boots, good hat and gloves, whatever goes underneath, actually you can survive with. And as I say, we will have some spares. So looking forward to seeing you chasing the lights.